Welcome to this week's episode of YouTube, where the topic is Maya shows the unpredictable nature of wolves. And I'll get into more of that later. Just want to show you some footage of Grizzer and Denali. And you can see Denali doing a raised leg urination in the straw, and more importantly doing a scraping afterwards, which is a little bit of a show of confidence. And what Grizzer does is comes over, sniffs, doesn't bother to overmark. So that means Grizzer is feeling a little more, okay with Denali, and you saw his head there is healing up pretty well, and he was just starting to really get hair growing back on that suture site, which was really good. Aidan showing a little bit more confidence, and that's what we're going to talk about here. Is Aidan and Maya had some interesting behavior on Thursday, with Maya starting to roll around on her back and Aidan on top of her, and then they took turns chasing each other, and very socially dynamic, which would indicate to us that Maya's got a little bit of probably a hormonal surge. Well, that was on Thursday afternoon. Friday morning, wolf care very calm. Maya's a little tense, and we noticed some things. 3 o'clock on Friday, we have a little bit of an issue with Maya and Aidan. It appears that Maya was getting a little intense with Aidan, and Aidan decided he wasn't going to take it. They go up into what we consider to be a ride-up behavior on their back legs, face-to-face, muzzle biting, scruff biting, and really head shaking and intensely going at each other. I was here within about probably 5 minutes of the altercation and was able to get them separated, but unfortunately during that period of time, Grizzer appears to have probably had an engagement with Denali, and his head wound is opened up a little bit, and we haven't been able to really assess that too much. He's staying towards the back of the enclosure. But what's different this time is Denali really wasn't that intense towards Grizzer. It may have just been a quick thing. It doesn't take much on that newly healed flesh for a tooth to scrape it. And again, head wounds tend to be a little bit messy. And they bleed pretty easily, even when there's not a real big area that's altered. So overall, this scuffle lasted maybe 5 or 8 minutes, and the end result is Aidan's more timid, which is probably what Maya wanted. Lots of howling going on, and you saw a little bit of just the clip I filmed. This was probably 6 o'clock at night, so 3 hours after the altercation. And the interesting thing is Maya and Grizzer are up in the fence line, and when I did an enclosure check just to kind of see what was keeping them up there, they were intensely following the fence line and guarding. Not really sure if this could have been stimulated by something on the outside of the fence that stimulated them to get excitable. That excitability created a situation where Maya redirected. Aidan, who had been gaining confidence, may have again decided to engage in Maya's dominance and face off with her, which anybody who knows Maya knows that that's not a good idea. And so that's just normal wolf communication, but the unpredictable nature of it is that earlier in the day Maya was giving, earlier in the week, earlier in the day, Maya was giving signals to Aidan by rolling over for him, letting him jump all over her, that his confidence in his status was increasing. And then whether it's redirected aggression from the standpoint of something on the top of the enclosure that created her anxiety, and then she put an end to it. And so there's some mixed messages that Aidan got. Aidan figured it out, and he's now, like I said, he's much more timid right now, and certainly not showing that overt confidence that was causing Grizzer some anxiety. The interesting thing, again, like I say, Denali's pretty calm, and this is a clip of Denali on top of the slate den. I didn't edit any of this video out, so you'll see it as it was taken. I apologize for one of the bouncing. The snow fell off a tree next to me while I was in there. So that's what's going on. We'll keep you posted on how that goes. So then I went over to retirement, because that is where you'll hear a lot of howling and certainly anxiety about what's going on, and they're all excitable, chasing each other around. Again, the wind is fairly strong. Posturing. This is Malika's closest to us here. Notice his ears are pricked and turned sideways. Again, that means that he's intense, but he's a little bit anxious about it, and so that is a body language there that showing that Malik's not all that comfortable with that little altercation there. And it is a little unusual for us to be in there with the camera after dark, Malik comes up and he's got that little wolf curiosity look to him, turns his head and wonders, what's that thing, that light that's on that camera? But you can see here, even though the main pack was fairly intense, even if these guys do get into an agitated state, it's very short-lived. It's not very physical at this age, and it's pretty much over and really mostly posturing at this age. So that's essentially what the day was, what the day brought, and a little bit of unpredictability. And can't post to YouTube without seeing this shadow mark on the straw that I just put out. Thought you might want to get a little close-up personal experience. Actually, I think he hits the camera with some of that straw. But the issues that we have for wolf care, again, we have to recognize that there are going to be situations of tension that create redirection. You can't hold it against any individual wolf. Certainly my job is to make sure that everybody's physically doing okay. And I feel bad about Grizzer's head because it was just healing up nicely, and we are finally getting those curlicue hairs growing back on it. And it's just going to take us a little more time to heal that up. As I said, Denali does not appear to be intent on Grizzer's status anymore. It really seems like Denali's accepted his role, and this is just bad timing and a bad circumstance on Maya's part. Again, if it was, could have been temperature. We had 29 below again. We had 30 below a couple nights ago. It could have been just a hormonal surge. It could have been a wolf on the outside of the enclosure. It could have been anything. Wind. We know wind makes wolves nervous, and that's something that we will, continue to record over and over again. On windy days, there's tension. In the way that we tell there's tension is just the way that Malik and Shadow are showing tension here. Malik's ears are pricked and turned sideways. Shadow's are pricked forward. That's the ear posture of a more confident animal, and Malik's showing the ear posture of a less confident animal. Windy days, we see a lot of ears pricked and turned sideways, meaning they're intent, but they're anxious. And so I wanted to ask, why does wind make wolves nervous? And if you think about a wolf's life of trying to identify their prey, but also trying to avoid territorial disputes with other wolves, wind makes your inability to hear howling, it makes the sensory abilities mixed, it makes it vulnerable. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons, as well as, not to mention in the forested region, having trees drop on you. And earlier, I don't know if you caught that earlier in the clip, I was standing next to a white pine tree when the camera kind of went sideways. A branch fell down right next to me, so I can appreciate that, being in the forested area and having risks associated with it. So that's the YouTube for today, and as we said, we will continue to monitor the situation and continue to try to keep you updated on everything. But right now, like I said, Aidan's back to, as you saw, howling, running around, to his tail wagging. He's not, he definitely had face first with dominance, and he lost. And Maya is the one who started it all. So, and that's Maya with her who me face. So anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll keep you posted. Bye.